I'm coming. I'm good. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. Go ahead.
Trans rights are human rights! You crying!
Unbelievable. Here we have an actual biological female standing up and having the courage to fight for women's rights, now being berated by the trans mob.
Trans rights are human fucking rights! Bye, bitch! Bye, bitch!
You dress like a communist.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Trans women are women! Trans women are women! Trans women are women! Trans women are women! Trans women are women!
Being attacked by some male freak posing to be a female in a dress while barricading her over 3 hours in a room in the negotiation process against the real fascists, the ones that use violence to try to silence their opposition.
Things peaceful and
make her lose her flight
and move forward. Okay. Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she can go. $10 each. Because she probably got paid for this shit, so we could get paid for it too.
On the public campus that we attend.
So what's the end goal here? We're cooperating, so what's next?
So they need to do their job and get her out there. We created a path. It's here.
I can't speak to all of you when we're over talking to each other. We're not going to hear each other.
Don't let her hold.
Then no, you don't have to use. There's a difference. So what we want to do is maintain what we're doing right now, and as the speaker elicits, we can continue our conversations.
This is why I say we can no longer leave it up to women to fight for their rights by themselves. Men have to stand up because things like this would not take place or happen if we had real men around. And I can only imagine how her husband feels talking to her over the phone while she expresses her emotional distress, her frustration and anger that this is happening to her. Shout out to Riley Gaines for having the courage and telling the truth. And if you haven't heard her story, she is absolutely amazing.
My name is Riley Gaines. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Kentucky, where I was on the women's swim team. I proudly finished my career as a 12-time NCAA All-American, a 5-time SEC champion. I am one of the fastest 200 butterflyers of all time.
She broke records when it came to swimming and then was subjected to a failure of a male that couldn't compete against men, decided, oh, I think I'm a woman, and switched his name around. 6'4" Sasquatch, William Thomas, is as disrespectfully as I possibly can say it. Her and her teammates were forced to race against a male.
But on March 17th of last year, my teammates and I and other female swimmers from universities around the country were forced to compete against a biological male named Leah Thomas. Thomas was allowed to compete in the women's division after competing as a member of the University of Pennsylvania's men's swim team for 3 years. We watched on the side of the pool as Thomas won a national title in the 500-yard freestyle, beating out the most impressive and accomplished female athletes in the country, including Olympians and American record holders. Whereas just the year before, Thomas at best was ranking in the 400s in the men's category.
Oh, and to make matters worse, get a load of this. They belittled the woman down to a photo op just so they can push this agenda when she tied with William Thomas in the 200.
The next day, Thomas and I raced in the 200 freestyle, which ended up in a tie. We went the exact same time down to the 100th of a second. Having only one trophy, the NCAA told me that I would go home empty-handed and this trophy would go to Thomas. And when I questioned this, the NCAA told me that Thomas had to hold it for photo purposes. I was shocked. I felt betrayed and belittled, reduced to a photo op. But my feelings didn't matter. What mattered to the NCAA were the feelings of a biological male.
Also, they subjected her and her teammates without notice of some biological male now posing to be a woman will be sharing the locker room with them while his sausage continues to swing while they get undressed in their bathroom and locker room.
But that is not all. In addition to being forced to give up our awards, our titles, and our opportunities, the NCAA forced female swimmers to share a locker room with Thomas, a 6'4", 22-year-old male who was fully intact with male genitalia. Let me be clear. We were not forewarned. We were not asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent. If nothing else, I hope you can truly see how this is a violation of our privacy and how some of us have felt uncomfortable, awkward, embarrassed, and even traumatized by this experience. I know I don't speak for everyone. It's impossible to speak for everyone, but I can attest to the tears that were shed on that pool deck by these poor 9th and 17th place finishers who missed out on being named an All-American by 1 place. And I can attest to the extreme discomfort in the locker room when you turn around and there's a male watching you undress while exposing himself. I can attest to the anger and frustration from these girls who had worked so hard and sacrificed so much to get to this point.
Men should not be competing in women's sports, period. Men should not be using our daughters, our sisters, our wives, our aunts' bathroom, period. This is a delusional mental illness from the Skittles Mafia. There is no such thing as trans woman. This is a mental disorder. They can change the definition all they want. It is literally dysphoria in the mind. There's no such thing as it. These are nothing but gay men cross-dressing. That's all this is. This is such a sad sack of shit. I can't stand it, and I can't believe we even have to have this discussion. We literally have women trying to stand up and speak out and fight for women's rights while men that are gay infringe on those things. And then they always talk about inclusion.
In 1972, Congress enacted Title IX to end unjust sex discrimination in all aspects of education, including college athletics. But by allowing Thomas to displace female athletes in the pool and on the podium, the NCAA intentionally and explicitly discriminated on the basis of sex. Although the NCAA claimed it acted in the name of inclusion, its policies in fact excluded female athletes.
I thought that they said that they're the people of inclusion and love, but yet they are doing everything except inclusion. They're excluding the actual person that is a female standing up for female rights. Make it make sense.
Unfortunately, our experiences are not unique. The number of female athletes who have been denied opportunities, again, traumatized or hurt by policies that claim to be promoting inclusion, is growing at an alarming rate around this country. It's simply unacceptable, and the integrity of women's sports is lost.
Now here we are, we just had a bunch of transgenders attack a woman, a bunch of transgender mob allies attack a woman that are trying to stand up for women's rights. Didn't we just have a transgender go up into a Christian school and shoot up everything? It's clear, folks, these people are terrorists and they have a mental illness, and we have a stupid government and people in this country that think that they need to be allies to what is clear to all of us. They have a mental illness and a delusion that we cannot continue to play along with. I ain't gonna beat a dead horse. I wanna know what you guys' thoughts is on this subject. I know I ran it off today. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. Leave a comment. I do read them. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this subject. It irritates me and pisses me off. It's your boy, Craig Long, 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.